Welcome back to the Star Monroe Show. This is episode 9 of my mini series, The Wild Love Affair 12 intimate conversations on coming home to who you really are through embodiment, devotional living, and deeper intimacy. Today, I'm going to talk about sensual living. It's not what you think it is, but it's what you've been seeking. It's this pull to living more alive, more in the moment, and really embracing life, whatever is happening, whether frustrations are happening, you're feeling guilty, you're feeling upset, ecstatic, excitement. It's embracing it all and riding it like a wild mare. Over the years, sensuality, I've played with my sensuality. I mean, in my 30s, I opened up a pole dancing academy and definitely explored my sensuality there. And what I saw was women pole dancing and giving the space to explore their bodies in a really unjudgmental environment. I've never seen anything like it. Just the way women reconnected to their bodies through movement, it was beautiful to witness. As I moved into my 40s and I started to explore a little bit more about our society and why we are the way that we are, I stumbled across us living, or the male gaze. And I was like, oh, I've never come across this before. And that's when I really started to look at how I had viewed my body. And my back history is I spent many years in addictions, alcoholism, toxic relationship with my body, with men, with money. And I've always been a curious soul. And I was like, why is this? And like I did all my healing, and I was just like, well, why is it that it's so hard for me to connect with my body, my rhythm, and my wisdom? And then I was like, oh, the male gaze. We're taught from a really early age to objectify our bodies, to disconnect from them, to live in our heads. And in the previous episode, I talked more about this, about why we stay in our heads, we intellectualize everything. But it's not going to get you back home to yourself if you keep living in your heads. So it was like this understanding that, oh, I've been objectifying my body. I've been putting my value on my looks, on my youth. This is why I like getting older, because it's shattering all of this conditioning. And another thing that I hear a lot of women say is they become invisible when we get older. I'm like, well, why is that such a bad thing? And the thing is, as well, if I unpack that some more, we're never invisible if we see ourselves. And so if you've always based your worth and being seen from the external, from men, from other women, then yeah, of course you're going to be invisible. But if you always see yourself when you wake up in the morning, you look in the mirror, or you touch your skin, you're never invisible. Never, never. So it's really like, I really like learning about the male gaze and like going, oh, right, well, if I look at my body through the female gaze, my body is sacred. My emotions are holy. There's nothing wrong with me. And I have, like I said, I've come from a background where there's been massive self-loathing and a lot of disconnection, a lot of self-abandonment, not so much in the last, 10 years. But this, if you want to change anything, if you want to change your relationship with yourself, and the relationship you have with yourself is the most important relationship because it spills out into everything else, then all you need is the willingness, an open mind, and an open heart to look at yourself through a different lens. And the way that I've learned everything is, oh, I kind of have a feeling I need to go over there. Well, this is pulling me towards it. I don't yet know how to do it, but I'm going to find a way. I'm going to figure it out. And you want to pull women in like myself who have been through a lot of stuff themselves, so they can guide you back easier onto your path, because you've got your path to live. I've got my path to live. One thing I know is if you're here to come home to yourself, you need to have the capacity to sit in the unknown, to sit with discomfort, to sit with not knowing and not to meddle with it. And that requires you to be able to stay with yourself, whatever matters. So if I come back to the theme of today's podcast episode, which is about sensuality, it's not what you think. It's not floating around in a silk robe on a Balinese island, even though that's nice. I've done that. Because when I'm looking at sensuality, I want something that's sustainable, that's going to weave into my life. And I'm also looking at sensuality from a depth perspective as well. So it has depth, it has gravitas, it's something that I can really embody. And so if I looked at it through the male gaze, then it tends to be about the external, it tends to be about dancing and what I wear and how I look. And for me, it's not that comes into it, but it comes from a deeper place. It comes from this willingness to be able to be with yourself, whatever happens, to be able to feel everything, to feel life, to feel yourself, to feel what goes on in your head, to feel your emotions and not get swept up in it. That's the key, to become the great observer of it all. And so you're watching everything and you're curious about it all. And so for me, if I look at this practically, it means when I wake up in the morning, it's always this gentle check-in. How are you feeling? What's going on for you today? And it's just that noticing how I'm feeling as I'm getting out of bed. And however I'm feeling, I'm greeting it with love, with grace. And so then I might be grumpy when I wake up out of bed. But unless I acknowledge it, unless I welcome it in, then what I will do is that will be the lens I look at life. So I will project my grumpiness out onto everyone. But if I check in first thing in the morning, welcome it in, feel it, embrace it, I'm like, oh, okay, I see you. Is there anything that you need? I'll ask to this grumpy part of me, and that grumpy part is normally defensive. So no, I don't need anything. I'm like, it's okay. Wait, I'm here. It's all right. I'm not going to try and change you. We're together. It's all good. And so this way of living with all parts of you, for me, that is essential. It's like this willingness to be open to whatever arises within me and to witness it and to check in with myself. And to live like this, it means to slow down. I talked in a couple of episodes before. We have to slow down. We have to slow down because we cannot see ourselves. We cannot feel. And in my years of working with clients, most of them are locked up into their heads. There's a reason for that. They don't feel, they don't experience things, but it's a way of safety or control. But you want to feel a wildly alive life. You want to feel radiant and that kind of glowing off you, then you've got to be willing to feel. And that means to slow down, to be willing to let everything flow in and flow out. And then what happens then? Things just flow through you rather than dragging them with you. And so to bring this idea of sensual living, and I'm going to be talking more about this in a lot more depth I've got an event coming up at the end of the month. Write this date down, the 29th to the 31st of August. It's called The Unhurried Woman. And I'm going to be talking more about how we can unhook from false urgency, reconnect to our bodies, our timing, our inner knowing, and talking more about sensual living as well. So details will be coming soon online around the 18th of August. I'm going to open up doors for that. And this is a brilliant way for you to deepen yourself into my ways, my wisdom, my world, and to see whether the School of Devotional Living is for you, because this is where we take all of this and we bring it into a lifestyle that you embody, that you become. So if I bring it back to a more practical sense, living sensually means to slow down, means to be with yourself, to be at home, to no longer be at war with yourself. Just take a moment with that. If you're no longer listening to that inner critic or listening to the shoulds or listening to all the distractions outside you, you're just here. So that means whether you're chopping carrots, or I was chopping my salad earlier, you're there chopping the salad. And when you're in your morning shower, you're in it rather than thinking 10 steps ahead what you've got to do next. It's when you're working and you're not on your phone, you're not trying to do 50 other things. It's like really being present. I say it's the art of witnessing the ordinary through extraordinary eyes. Or another way to think about it is you romance the ordinary. Your life is going to unfold, and we're not always going to have excitement, that dopamine hit, because that's exhausting. We want to romance the boring. We want to romance the ordinary. And then life starts to have this aliveness to it. You no longer want to exit out. You no longer want to numb. You don't want to work so much. You want to be present in this life that you're cultivating by being willing to feel it. And so as you do this, you start to wake up all your senses, your sight. When you look, you're really seeing, hearing. So I like to live in the country so I can hear the birds. Smelling. I've always got something on the go in my house, like an incense stick or Palo Santo, or spray my perfume everywhere. You're tasting your food or your coffee, and the touch. You're wearing clothes that feel good on your body, and you're here, you're in presence of yourself. And all of this wakes you up, and it's the language of your nervous system. And as you become more present, as you live and you savor life in this way, your nervous system settles down. It's no longer on that fight, flight. And when you're in that fight, flight, there's never enough time. You're always rushing, ready to react. And for me, reacting is not a place I want to be anymore. I want to be able to respond. And I want to respond from my highest self as well. I want to take my time thinking about a reply. I don't want to reply to my emails or my texts straight away. Or messages online or anything. I want to be able to go, do you want to reply to that? Is that something you want to enter into, rather than, oh, I should be doing this and I should be doing that. And I lived like that for many, many years. It's just exhausting, and I'm not living on my rhythm. I'm living in accordance to everyone else. So this is why I really like sensual living, because it's asking us over and over again, well, how do you want to live right now? How do you want to do this? How does your body feel? Because as you live sensually, your body is online, and your body holds all your answers. It's where all your wisdom lives. So as I said, it's about being willing to be immersed in the present moment. It's the willingness to be here. And the more you do that, the more it becomes you. It's just like you just are pulsing with life. You become embodied in what is happening and not stuck in your head, not overthinking, not just like and this stops your mind wandering to the past or moving into the future. And for me, this has really helped, because it's something that I'm perpetually teaching myself. Perpetually is not the right word, but it's like I've got a tendency to fast track into the future, and I'm like, it will figure itself out. And right here, what are we doing right now? What are we doing right now? And I'm like, I'm with the kittens, or I'm talking on a podcast, or I'm drinking my drink, or I'm looking out the view. or I'm writing some notes. I'm here. And this is what it is. We're training ourselves to be in that present moment. And the present moment is where we have all our power. It's where we can choose what is right for us according to our bodies, to our rhythm. This is the liberation that you're seeking as you're coming home to yourself. Because as I said, it soothes your nervous system, it unhooks you from stress hormones, and it allows you to be present with yourself. And then that's going to ripple out to everybody else in your life. And only the other night, something happened. I was reading in bed. I heard a big crash, and I was like, what's going on? And I laid there and I thought, I better get up. And I walked downstairs and the chair had snapped, and my son had I broke it because I was reaching for the kittens. And what came out of my mouth, I couldn't quite believe it, was like, are you okay? Is everything all right? And he was like, yes, yes. But this is so unusual for me because normally I would have gone crazy. I'm going, you've broken a chair, because somewhere in my life, my wiring got crossed and I valued things over people, things I can control, people I can't control. So I found my sense of safety in things. But this work that I'm doing, because I do the work with you, like I'm here, I live this. It's important for me that I unbind myself from any patterns that keep me from being my most beautiful version of me. And so I couldn't believe it because there was no reaction. It was just like, are you okay? And it became naturally to me. But I couldn't do this if I was rushing around, if I was stressed out, putting loads of pressure on myself, hooked onto external markers of success. I'm able to do this because I'm embodied in who I am, and I've made it my intention to be more beautiful inside, so my relationships are more beautiful. And so this is what I mean, like, you change yourself, you change everything. When you live sensually, and as I said, I'm going to dive deeper into this on my event, the 29th to 31st of August, you live presently. You stop being hijacked by your mind's endless loops, and you will make decisions from your body, from your wisdom, from your truth. And over a period of time, you trust yourself. You've got yourself. You can stay with yourself whatever happens. However you're feeling, you stay with yourself. This is sustainable. And yeah, if you want to do the rituals, do the dancing, wear the silk robe, then do it, because you've built the foundations inside you. And it may mean sometimes that we pull the silk robe in at certain periods and we're doing the external and the internal. But it's like we change the internal. You become rooted. You become present in who you are. You become alive in who you are because you don't want to be anywhere else. Like, this is your home. And you're like, oh, it's so good to be here. This life that I've got is so good. I'm grumpy. I'm irritable. I want to moan. This is so good. I'm in this. It's like, yeah, I'm feeling it. Sensual living. That's what I mean to be sensual. That's what I mean when I say sensual living. It's reclaiming your senses. You reclaim your life. Everything is alive. And I love this as well because there's no good or bad here. We're living in the paradox. We're living in the grey area. And it just enables us to be able to move and be more fluid. This is the work that I do inside the School of Devotional Living. This is the deep work that I guide you through private mentorship. And if this is calling you home, this is what's opening up for you, I would start with my book. Where's my book? If I'm on YouTube, I know the cats got it today. The kittens were biting my book. My Wild Love Affair. It talks about my journey coming home to myself. It's on Amazon, paperback, Kindle, and hardback. And I'll put everything else in the show notes. So everything is there for you. And next week or the next episode is a short and sweet episode because I'm going to be talking about the unhurried woman. And until next time, really take these words and allow them to percolate through your body and into your bones. And this way of living slower, more sensually, with devotion, that's what's going to pull you home and keep you here. And that's going to change everything. It's going to change everything for you in devotion.